The drama surrounding Sister Wives Season 20 has reached new heights as fans dig into one of the most perplexing mysteries in the Brown family saga: why Kody Brown is refusing to sell the infamous Coyote Pass property. What was once a dream, symbolizing unity for the plural family, has now become a battleground of broken promises and emotional manipulation. Whispers from within the fan community and clues from recent episodes point to one name at the center of it all: Robyn Brown. As Kody stalls, hesitates, and dodges direct answers about the property's future, speculation grows that Robyn's influence may be the real reason behind his reluctance to let go. Is Coyote Pass a piece of land or a symbol of control that Kody and Robyn refuse to surrender? The truth may be more complicated and emotional than anyone expected. For years, Coyote Pass has stood as both a promise and a curse in the world of Sister Wives. The sprawling property in Flagstaff, Arizona, was meant to be the place where Kody Brown and his 4 wives, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn, would finally unite as one big family after years of moving from state to state in pursuit of peace and privacy. But what was once a symbol of their collective dreams has turned into a painful reminder of everything that went wrong. As Season 20 unfolds, viewers are asking one burning question: why hasn't Kody sold Coyote Pass now that 3 of his 4 wives have left him? The answer, some fans insist, lies in Robyn Brown's quiet but powerful influence. The tension surrounding Coyote Pass has always been tied to the Brown family's fractured dynamics. Back when the family first purchased the property, Kody envisioned building multiple homes on the land, one for each wife. It was supposed to be a return to unity, a physical representation of their faith and family structure. Yet, as years passed and cracks deepened between the wives, the dream began to crumble. Christine was the first to walk away, choosing independence and emotional peace over continuing to fight for a family that no longer functioned. Janelle followed, disillusioned by Kody's shifting priorities. Meri soon made her quiet exit too, having long realized that her marriage to Kody was more symbolic than real. That left only Robyn, the legal wife, the last standing partner, and, as some see it, the one with the most to gain from keeping things exactly as they are. In recent episodes, fans have noticed Kody's evasive behavior whenever the topic of selling Coyote Pass comes up. He talks about potential plans, long-term investments, and unfinished business. Yet no real action ever follows. While some might chalk it up to indecision, many believe something deeper is at play. Robyn has long been portrayed as the emotional compass in Kody's life, often guiding his choices under the guise of concern or family unity. Her calm, soft-spoken demeanor hides a strategic mind, fans argue, one that knows how to keep Kody's loyalty by appealing to his sense of control. Selling Coyote Pass would mean admitting that the dream is dead, and that's something Robyn might not be ready to do. To understand why Robyn could be influencing Kody's decision, it's important to look at how she entered the family in the first place. When Robyn joined the Browns in 2010, she represented everything new and hopeful. Kody was infatuated with her, to the point that his other wives began to feel neglected and sidelined. Over time, what was supposed to be an addition to the family became a recentering of it around Robyn. She and Kody legally married in 2014 after he divorced Meri, ensuring that Robyn's children could be adopted and that she would have legal protection. From that moment, the balance shifted permanently. Kody's decisions increasingly aligned with Robyn's opinions, whether it was about parenting, finances, or moving to Flagstaff. Now, with the family fractured, the last piece connecting everyone is the land at Coyote Pass. Selling it would finalize the separation, not just financially, but symbolically. It would mean that Kody's dream of having his 4 wives together on one property is officially over. For someone like Robyn, who has often spoken about her sadness over the family's dissolution, keeping Coyote Pass might represent holding on to the last remnant of that dream. But fans are not buying it. They argue that Robyn's attachment isn't emotional, it's strategic. Owning the land gives her leverage, financial security, and control over Kody's next moves. As long as Coyote Pass remains unsold, she keeps a piece of the past alive and a firm grip on the future. Meanwhile, the other wives are moving on with their lives. Christine has remarried and embraced happiness in Utah. Janelle is focusing on independence and self-growth. And Miri is pursuing her business ventures away from the constant scrutiny of Kody's leadership. Yet, each of them remains tied to the land in one way or another, financially or emotionally. For months, rumors have swirled that they want their share sold and settled, but Kody's hesitation is blocking the process. In interviews, he has vaguely referred to complications and unfinished plans, never directly addressing the mounting frustration. Behind the scenes, some fans speculate that Robyn may be encouraging him to delay, perhaps hoping that circumstances will change or that the wives will simply give up their claims to avoid further conflict.
The emotional weight of Coyote Pass cannot be understated. It is more than property. It's the physical embodiment of everything that Sister Wives stood for. The sprawling land represents Kody's once grand vision of unity, equality, and faith, now reduced to an empty promise. Every time the topic resurfaces, it reignites pain and resentment, particularly among fans who watched the dream collapse in real time. The property's continued limbo mirrors Kody's inability to move forward and Robyn's reluctance to let go of her privileged position. It's as if the land has become a metaphor for the emotional entanglement between them, a mixture of love, dependency, and denial. Adding to the tension are whispers from local sources that the Browns have received offers for the property, yet Kody refuses to take them seriously. In one scene, he mentioned wanting to build a home there someday, even though it's clear that the unified family he once envisioned no longer exists. Robyn's reaction in these moments is telling. She often looks uncomfortable, but rarely disagrees openly. Instead, she reinforces his desire to wait, subtly supporting his hesitation without directly taking responsibility. This dynamic has led fans to conclude that Robyn's quiet influence is far stronger than it appears. She doesn't need to demand anything outright. Her emotional connection to Kody is enough to steer his decisions. What's even more compelling is how the fan base has turned this situation into a social media storm. On Reddit and Facebook groups dedicated to Sister Wives, discussions about Coyote Pass dominate the conversation. Some fans believe Robyn fears losing the symbolic connection that keeps her tied to the other wives, while others suspect she simply wants to maintain financial control. A few even argue that Robyn is playing the long game, that she knows Coyote Pass is worth more in the future and is urging Kody to hold off for monetary gain. Whatever the motive, the common thread in all these theories is that Robyn is far from an innocent bystander. Behind the cameras, Robyn has been painted as emotional and often tearful about the family's breakdown. Yet her tears have sparked skepticism. Viewers recall her crying in past episodes when she felt betrayed by the other wives or when they expressed frustration at Kody's favoritism. To fans, her tears have become a tool, a way to appear compassionate while maintaining control. This same pattern seems to be unfolding with Coyote Pass. By expressing sadness over the family's dissolution and urging patience, Robyn keeps Kody emotionally anchored to her and to the dream that has long since died for everyone else. If Kody were to sell Coyote Pass, it could force him to face the truth that his plural family experiment has ended in failure. For a man whose identity has been tied to his role as a patriarch, that realization would be devastating. Robyn, ever attuned to Kody's ego and emotions, likely knows this. Keeping the property unsold allows them both to live in a sort of suspended reality, where the family's downfall can still be framed as a temporary setback rather than a complete collapse. This emotional limbo benefits Robyn because it keeps her at the center of Kody's life, both practically and symbolically. There's also a financial side that cannot be ignored. Coyote Pass represents significant money, both in investment and in potential profit. The Browns divided the property into several parcels, each tied to different family members. Selling would require cooperation and legal agreements between all parties, something that seems nearly impossible given the emotional tension. Robyn's legal marriage to Kody gives her a stronger say in these decisions, which could explain her influence in maintaining the status quo. For her, stalling might simply be the safest option, both emotionally and financially. As the season continues, the unresolved fate of Coyote Pass looms large. It's a storyline that refuses to fade, much like the tension between Kody and his ex-wives. Each new episode brings subtle hints but no real progress, keeping fans on edge. The symbolism of that land, once filled with dreams of shared laughter, homes, and harmony, now stands as a graveyard of unfulfilled promises. And while Kody publicly claims to be looking towards the future, his attachment to the past, fueled perhaps by Robyn's gentle but persistent influence, holds him back from any true forward motion. Fans are watching closely, dissecting every word, glance, and hesitation. Theories abound, but one sentiment unites them. Robyn Brown is not as powerless as she appears. Whether out of love, control, or fear, she has become the quiet architect of Kody's current paralysis. Coyote Pass, once a beacon of unity, now mirrors the couple's emotional state, unresolved, conflicted, and haunted by the past. Until that land is sold, Kody and Robyn remain tethered to the dream that destroyed their family, a dream they can neither rebuild nor fully release. And so, as Sister Wives Season 20 continues to unravel, one thing is clear: the story of Coyote Pass is far from over. For Kody, it's the last vestige of his authority. For Robyn, it's the last piece of the illusion that their family might somehow be whole again. But for fans, it's the ultimate symbol of what happens when love, faith, and ambition collide under the weight of pride and control. Whether Robyn is truly the reason Kody won't sell or merely the emotional anchor keeping him from facing reality, the truth remains buried in that Arizona soil, along with the dreams of a family that once believed they could build forever together.
For more than a decade, the world of Sister Wives has been defined by its complex web of love, faith, jealousy, and control. But few storylines have captured the public's attention quite like the ongoing saga surrounding Coyote Pass. Once envisioned as the grand symbol of unity for Kody Brown and his four wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn, the vast property in Flagstaff, Arizona, has transformed into the most divisive and emotionally charged issue in the family's history. With Christine gone and happily remarried, Janelle pursuing her independence, and Mary finally breaking free, one question remains, echoing across the fanbase. Why won't Kody sell Coyote Pass? The longer he stalls, the clearer it becomes to viewers that this isn't just about land or money, it's about control, ego, and perhaps the quiet influence of one woman who still holds the most sway over him. Fans are now convinced that Robyn Brown, the last remaining wife, is the real reason behind Kody's refusal to let go of the property that has come to symbolize everything broken about their once famous plural family. To understand how Coyote Pass went from dream to disaster, one must revisit the early days of its conception. When the Browns moved to Flagstaff, Kody sold his Las Vegas homes with the dream of building 4 houses on a large piece of Arizona land where each wife could live close but still have her own space. It was supposed to represent a fresh start after years of tension, but instead it became the epicenter of resentment and distrust. Christine, who was once the heart of the family's unity, grew tired of waiting for Kody's promises to materialize. Janelle, practical and grounded, invested her own money into the land and expected progress that never came. Mary, emotionally isolated and long marginalized by Kody, saw her connection to the family fading fast. Through it all, Robyn appeared calm, patient, and loyal, qualities that earned her both sympathy and suspicion from fans who believed her quiet demeanor concealed a powerful hold over Kody. Over the past few seasons, that suspicion has intensified. When Kody talks about Coyote Pass, his words are often vague and defensive. He insists the property represents something sacred, yet he refuses to explain why it cannot be sold now that the family's plural lifestyle is essentially over. In emotional confessionals, he appears torn between practicality and pride. But Robyn's reactions have sparked intense debate among fans. She often looks uncomfortable, but avoids challenging him outright.
Instead, she softly reinforces his hesitation, expressing sadness over how the family fell apart, while simultaneously discouraging any decisive action that might close that chapter for good. For many viewers, this is no coincidence. It's strategy. Robyn's power in the Brown family has always operated subtly. From the moment she joined the family in 2010, she occupied a unique position. Unlike Mary, Janelle, and Christine, Robyn entered the marriage with children from a previous relationship and a strong sense of what she wanted from Kody. Her arrival shifted the family dynamic in ways that can still be felt today. Kody's infatuation with her was immediate, and fans quickly noticed the change in his behavior toward his other wives. Where at once he divided his time and energy fairly equally, Kody began spending more nights with Robyn and taking her opinions as gospel. It wasn't long before she became not just his emotional confidant, but his legal spouse, after he divorced Mary in 2014 to marry Robyn and adopt her children. That legal tie created a power imbalance that has only grown over time. When the other wives began expressing frustration about Kody's favoritism, Robyn often positioned herself as the peacekeeper, crying during interviews and lamenting that the others didn't understand how hard she was trying to hold the family together. But her tears rarely led to resolution. Instead, they seemed to make Kody more protective of her. Fans began to see a pattern. Robyn presented herself as victimized, and Kody reacted by further isolating her from criticism while turning his frustration toward the other wives. By the time the family moved to Flagstaff, the dynamic was clear: Kody and Robyn against the world. Now with the family effectively dismantled, Coyote Pass is the last vestige of Kody's dream and Robyn's influence. Selling it would mean admitting defeat, acknowledging that their plural family experiment failed, and accepting that the family unity Robyn so often spoke of was never truly achievable. That's a level of closure neither of them seems ready to embrace. Instead, they remain tethered to the fantasy that someday things might return to what they were supposed to be, a fantasy that Robyn appears to nurture as part of her quiet power play. Fans have been relentless in their analysis. Across social media, discussions dissect Robyn's every word and gesture when the subject of Coyote Pass arises. Some argue that she's afraid of losing the only remaining connection to the other wives, believing that once the land is sold, her link to the family's shared history will be gone forever. Others think her motives are more pragmatic, that holding on to the land keeps Kody emotionally invested and prevents him from making decisions that could weaken her influence. By keeping the dream alive, Robyn maintains control over Kody's narrative and his next moves. She becomes the keeper of the family's someday, the only one still waiting for a future that no longer exists. One of the most telling moments came during a recent episode when Kody admitted that he doesn't know what to do about the land. Instead of offering clarity or encouragement, Robyn sighed and said she wants everyone to be happy, but that selling Coyote Pass feels like giving up.